Unemployment is a key indicator of the health of the economy, and if the recent headlines about layoffs in a number of industries here are any guide, the jobless rate in Australia is also set to rise. The big unknown, of course, is by how much. In the last of our week-long series, our economic experts offer their thoughts on what lies ahead this year.
Well, we have the unemployment rate at 5.75% at the end of 2012. Now, I think what's happening right at the moment is really a replay of what happened a few years ago. Employers are responding to the uncertainties by freezing hiring, and so we've seen jobs growth stop as a result. But what they're actually finding is the demand for their product is holding up, and that means mass layoffs are unlikely. So against that sort of backdrop, the unemployment rate slowly creeps higher through 2012.
We're expecting unemployment to be around 6% at the end of the year, so less than 1% above where it is now. But it's just indicative of an economy that's slowing, it's growing a little bit below trend, that has some skill mismatches. The labour market will be, the mining sector will be looking for jobs but won't be able to fill them. Other parts will be weakening, so higher unemployment from where we are now.
I actually think the unemployment rate's going to be steady. It's going to be 5.5%. I believe there is actually strong demand for labour in Australia. If anything, there's going to be skill shortages, and that's a much better problem to have than the unemployment that we've seen in the Northern Hemisphere. For the most part, I think the Australian labour market is well performing, and if you compare it to Europe that's sluggish or America that's grossly unequal, and there hasn't been a real wage increase since 1990, Australia's actually got it right.
We see the unemployment rate around about 5.25%, which is pretty similar to where we are now. The main reason for that is with growth during the course of the year of about 3.25%. That's only trend, and so I think essentially what we've got is a labour market that essentially goes sideways during the course of the year.
We're looking for the unemployment rate to be around 5.25%. We do think it's going to drift up over the next 6 months to as high as 5.5%, maybe a little bit higher. But again, as we get through the course of this year and we see some of the areas of consumer and housing start to stabilise, we do think the unemployment rate can drift down again. When we look across the business surveys, there does seem to be quite a lot of interest from businesses in employing people. So we are looking for the unemployment rate after some weakness to be around 5.25%.